You ever get to that place where it feels like nothing you do is working out? You know, you try, you pray, but you still feel like you're just stuck. And that little voice starts creeping in, whispering, maybe I should just give up. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, I'm so glad you're here. Stick with me, because this is not the end of your story.
All right, let's just get right into it. It's such a heavy feeling, isn't it? That sense that your prayers are just bouncing off the ceiling, that all your hard work is getting you absolutely nowhere. It's this place of just deep, deep frustration. And man, it can feel so incredibly lonely.
But here's the very first thing I want you to hear, and this is so important. It's not just you. You are not alone in this. This feeling, it's a completely human experience. People have been feeling this exact way for, well, forever.
And you know what's really striking is how ordinary these feelings are. It doesn't always take some huge, life-shattering crisis to get us to that breaking point. Sometimes it's just the slow, steady weight of being tired all the time, or that feeling you get when you're scrolling and it feels like everyone else is so far ahead, or that ache of feeling like no one really gets what you're going through. And maybe the toughest one of all, that deafening silence when you're crying out to God.
And that's really the heart of it. You are not the first person to feel this way, and you definitely won't be the last. In fact, some of the most amazing heroes of faith have stood right where you might be standing today.
Let's actually look at an example. Let's talk about David. Now, we usually think of him as, David, the triumphant king, the giant slayer. But there was a long, dark, and desperate chapter in his life way before any of that happened. I mean, just look at this incredible contrast. On one side, you've got this huge promise from God. David was anointed by a prophet, handpicked by God to be the next king of Israel. But what was his day-to-day reality? He was on the run, a fugitive, being hunted by the actual king, living in constant fear, hiding out in these dark, damp caves. His reality looked nothing like the promise. It looked like a total failure.
And it was in one of those caves that he wrote these words. I mean, listen to that. That's not a powerful king talking. That's a desperate, lonely guy crying out, feeling completely and utterly abandoned. No one is concerned for me. He wasn't trying to put on a brave face. He was being brutally, painfully honest about his despair.
And this is so important. If David, a guy the Bible literally calls a man after God's own heart, had moments where he felt like his entire world was crumbling down around him, then feeling this way is not a sign that your faith is weak. It's a sign that you're human. Okay, but this is where everything starts to shift. Because God wasn't gone when David was in that cave. That cave wasn't a punishment. It was a classroom. It was a training ground. And this is where we need to try and shift our own perspective about the hard times we're going through. Think about it like this. What feels to us like a frustrating, pointless delay, from God's perspective, is often a time of intentional development. It's in those moments that our character is being forged, it's where we build real resilience, and it's where we learn to lean on a strength that's way bigger than our own. And what about that silence? Well, what feels like silence is actually shaping. You know, like a sculptor who's really quiet and intensely focused when they're doing the most detailed, important work? These quiet seasons in our lives are often when God is doing the most important work inside of us. He was shaping a shepherd boy in a cave to get him ready for a crown. Okay, so understanding all this is great, but what do you actually do? Like right now, when you're in that cave and you just want to quit, well, what did David do? He actually gives us a roadmap. Here are 4 simple things you can do. First up, talk to God, but be real, be honest. That raw, desperate cry we just read from Psalm 142, that was his prayer. He didn't use pretty words, he used real ones. Second, please don't isolate yourself. Pain wants you to be alone. Reach out to someone. Third, you don't have to figure out your entire life today. Just focus on taking one small next right step. And finally, just remember David's story. Even in the darkness, he kept going. He kept praying, he kept writing, he kept believing. So as we wrap this up, if you're in that place, if you feel like giving up, I really want these next few truths to sink deep, deep into your heart. Right in the middle of your struggle, when you feel completely invisible, please know this: you are not forgotten. When you feel so alone, like nobody in the world cares, please remember this: you are not abandoned. And when it feels like this is it, this is the end, that there's no way forward, hold on to this one promise: your story is not finished. The author is still writing. So we'll leave you with this one question. It's not about figuring it all out. It's not about seeing the top of the staircase. It's just about one step. Right now, in this moment,
what is the next right thing you can do?